These are some of the things that I wish people would have told me when I started getting into the barbering industry and before barber school. To start out with, my name is Jared Cargill. I've been a barber for a little over 4 years now. I got my license while I was in high school, and I do social media. I do YouTube, and I also have a TikTok and an Instagram right there. So y'all make sure to go drop a follow, and let me share with y'all the first thing that I wish somebody would have told me before becoming a barber. The first thing that I want to share with y'all guys is that barber school is going to be what you make of it. This is your experience. I wouldn't rely heavily on the instructors to teach you a lot, and it's a little bit opposite of what you think. You think you're going to go into barber school and that you're going to have your barber teachers teaching you how to build clientele, teaching you how to cut hair. But in fact, barber school is completely opposite of that. You go to barber school, they teach you how to pass your barbering exams. You're going in, you're learning the state rules, sanitation, and you're learning how to do your practical exams so that you can become a licensed barber. They're not necessarily teaching you the business of being a barber. They're not necessarily teaching you how to cut hair in the best ways. So my advice to y'all going into barber school is to go in with an open mindset and know that you're going to have to put the work in yourself. Know that you're going to have to watch a lot of haircut tutorials, and you're going to have to try to cut a lot of heads in barber school. And this is really the only way to grow in barber school. When I was in school, I had a lot of students around me. They thought that the teachers at the barber school were supposed to do everything for them. And so they didn't really try. They didn't end up getting their license, and they thought that barbering was a scam. They didn't think it was a good career to get into. Just because the school and the environment they were in, you really have to learn to cut hair with little guidance. A lot of these barber school teachers don't cut hair the best anyways. Some of them do. I'm not knocking all barber schools. I know there's some great schools out there, but the majority of schools are not great from what I've heard. I have a lot of guys DM me, and I've been to barber school myself. You also must learn how to build your own clientele in barber school. This is something that a lot of people don't focus on. They think that the school is supposed to bring them a bunch of walk-ins, which they should. The school should bring you some walk-ins, but you also need to learn to use social media to help you drive your walk-in traffic and to help drive your appointments. One thing in school that I would suggest that you start doing is learn how to post content. Look at barbers around you, look at what they're doing, use local hashtags, hashtag your city barber, and go out, hand out business cards, go network with people. This is what being a barber is all about. Barbering is about building connections and being social, not just cutting hair. You must learn to build your own clientele. They might teach you a little bit in barber school how to do this, but if you can build a good barber school clientele, they will follow you into the shops later on. And while you're in barber school, the only way to get better at cutting hair is to put in the reps. And to do this, you must have a clientele. You want to do as many haircuts as you can in barber school. You want to try a bunch of different services. And another thing that I would say for y'all in barber school to focus on is focus on your customer service. That's probably 50% of barbering right there that a lot of people don't figure out until later on. That's what's going to bring you in the money. If you can cut hair, if you can give really blurry fades, that's only half of it, man. You got to be able to relate to people and make people feel welcomed, or they're never going to want to come back and get a haircut from you. The second thing that I wish people would have told me going into barber school was that not every influencer reflects barbering in the right way. It's not everything what you see on Instagram. It's not everything that you see to be on YouTube. It's a great profession, don't get me wrong. To start this off with, I just want to talk about charging $100 a haircut. There's nothing wrong with that if you have demand. If you've worked your way up, you built your social media up, and you've built your presence up, and you're able to charge $100 a haircut, and you have a clientele that will pay that, there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like getting into barber school, a lot of barbers have the misconception that they want to come out of barber school and charge as much as you can for a haircut instead of trying to maximize your top line revenue as a barber. I know barbers who charge $30 to $40 a haircut, and I'm one of them myself. I charge $35 a haircut, and we make over 6 figures in a year. We make pretty good money. We make a lot more money than what people come out of college making, and we're doing this at market prices. Obviously, you want to scale your prices as a barber as you go along in your career, and this can be a goal of yours, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that charging $100 a cut is a bad thing, but I'm just saying do it the right way. If you want to charge $100 a haircut, build your demand. Once you're busy, once you're booked, then raise your prices. This comes with time, this comes with effort, this comes with months of building clientele, posting social media, and getting your name out there. And another thing that I want to talk about is that the barbershop is a grind. Yes, the barbershop is a fun place to be. You're going to be around a bunch of guys and girls your own age. You're going to be around the community. You're going to be able to watch sports, listen to music. But the barbershop is a grind, man. I know a lot of people on social media reflect it to be, and I just want to let you know that if you want to be successful as a barber, it really is a grind. You need to be at the shop, especially when you're starting out. You want to be one of the first ones in the shop and one of the last ones to leave. And that grind isn't for everybody. If you're looking for just a regular 9-to-5 job, you can get by with barbering, don't get me wrong, but it's going to take longer to scale. And that's the second thing that I wish people would have told me going into barber school. The third thing that I wish people would have told me about before getting into the barbering industry and before getting into barber school, and I wish all barber schools actually taught this and had a module on this, I think y'all should, is that taxes are a huge part of your success as a barber if you're ever trying to scale and you're ever trying to actually build a life out of being a barber. As you start scaling, taxes become one of the most important parts of your business, as you can see right here. Once you're making around $50,000 to $60,000 a year, you can look into opening an S Corp, which will help you save money on your taxes and put money back into your pockets so that you can scale, so that you can invest back into yourself. Taxes are important for the future. Like I was mentioning earlier, as a self-employed barber, as a 1099 barber, the only way that you can prove that you make income to lenders, to people who will give you a mortgage or give you a business loan, is through your taxes. And you have to have 2 years of tax returns to do this. I know a lot of barbers get into the industry to hide their cash and they avoid taxes, but I'm just gonna tell you, if you wanna scale and if you have plans of having a future in this industry, if you wanna actually build an abundant life being a barber, which you definitely can, then you gotta get your taxes taken care of. As a barber, you wanna track your receipts. If you have physical receipts, you want to have a file to just go ahead and put those in so that you have everything for the end of the year. My suggestion would be to get either a business bank account or go open a personal bank account. Throw all the money that you make from your services in there and take distributions into your other bank account as payments. That way, all the money that you're making from the business goes into one business account and you keep your business finances and your personal finances separate. That's something important that a lot of people don't put you on. I don't know why y'all barber schools aren't putting y'all's barbers on game like this. Maybe y'all guys don't have that information yourselves. Maybe it's something that you never did as a barber growing up, but this is something that I think everybody should know. I also think that you should find a tax professional. Once you make enough money and you can afford a tax professional, I feel like in the long run, taxes is one of the biggest expenses of your life, and it will save you a lot more money in the long run if you have a CPA or a tax professional doing the work for you. And it also allows you to focus on scaling your business, building your clientele, building shops, buying a house, whatever you're getting into as a barber. If you have a tax professional, they'll help you out. They'll help you know the numbers of your business. They'll help you grow as a business. And one thing that I want to talk about right here is I said LLC rollover to S Corp will save you money. Once you start making more than $50,000 to $60,000 a year as a barber, which is very possible to do this your first year out of barber school, and with multiple years in the industry, you definitely should be doing that. I would suggest looking into an S Corp or an LLC and rolling over to an S Corp. Essentially what that is gonna do for you is, instead of paying that 15.3% self-employment tax on your whole income that you made, let's say you made $70,000 in a year, you're not gonna be paying 15% on that $70,000. Instead, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna put yourself on a reasonable salary, which as a barber, a reasonable salary is anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 a year. And you're gonna go ahead and take the rest of your money that you made in distributions, and those distributions get taxed at a lower rate. So you're gonna save money on that. Let's just go ahead, let's open ChatGPT and let's see how much money it predicts that you would save if you went through this model right here. So I just want to show y'all guys at $100,000 how much money you would save if you rolled over as an LLC and an S Corp. So let me just go ahead and we'll start by showing y'all how much you would pay in taxes if you made $100,000 in a barber without any deductions and without an LLC or S Corp. How much would I pay in taxes as a self-employed barber that made $100K in a year without any tax deductions? All right, let's go ahead and let's let ChatGPT cook this up for us, and let's go ahead and see how much we'd be paying in self-employment taxes as a barber. So let's see right here, it's calculating everything for us. If you don't know how you're getting taxed as a barber, I would say go look into that as well. The IRS has everything laid out for you. You can go ask ChatGPT yourself, but maybe we'll do that for another video. We'll lay out how you get taxed as a barber. So if you made $100,000 as a barber in 2025 and you didn't have an S Corp and you didn't have any tax deductions because you didn't save your receipts, and you go to pay your tax bill, your estimated taxes owed are gonna be $31,000. That's almost 30% of what you made in that year. And that's why I suggest going in, go get your LLC and roll over as an S Corp once you start making good money, and really study your tax game and get a tax professional. That's something that I wish I would have known before getting into this. The fourth thing that I wish people would have taught me before becoming a barber and before getting into this industry is that barbering is a lot of workload. If you're a self-employed barber, you work at a booth rent shop, everything is on you. You will be working holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July. Those are going to be the busiest times for you because everybody else that are working, they're off work and they have time to come get haircuts. So that's one thing that being a barber, a lot of people don't think about getting into the industry, is you will be working around holidays. Obviously, as you scale up and you get older and you have a family, you're probably not going to be working on these holidays, but you earned it. But especially if you're a new barber, especially if you're in barber school and you're building clientele, people need haircuts for these holidays. They need to look good for their families. So you're going to have to sacrifice for that season and you're gonna have to be in the shop. Another thing is that the marketing and social media is on you, which also goes along with your clientele growth being on you. If you're at a booth rent shop, you're obviously gonna get walk-ins, but you can't depend on your owner to just bring you and give you everything yourself. You're gonna have to have some hustle in you, you're gonna have to have some grind, and you're gonna have to go figure that out for yourself. Like I said earlier, I would suggest posting on social media, get active in your local communities, go hand out business cards, go make out connections, give out your first haircut free to people. A lot of people neglect these things. They just wanna sit in the shop and think that if the shop is slow, it's all on the shop owner. They don't have any hustle in them, and they think that if they're slow, it's everybody else's fault but your own. But I'm here to tell you, especially if you live in a city, if you're not busy as a barber, something's wrong with you. You need to go to work and you need to figure it out yourself. Another thing is that if you're at a booth rent shop, all your equipment's on you. If your clippers break, let's say you need some cool care, let's say you need some neck strips, all that expense is going to be on you. A lot of people don't think about these things when getting into the industry, but clippers are getting expensive, man. Some of the most popular clippers these days, they're costing $300-$400 a clipper. So just be prepared and know that when you're a barber and you're self-employed, you're operating as a business and all these expenses are going to be on you. And the last thing that I wish people would have told me before I became a barber and got into this industry is that barbers can make amazing money. When I first started becoming a barber, I had no idea that there could be barbers out here making $100,000 a year. I thought that barbers were broke, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know that you could scale like this, but once you start doing the math, if you want to make $100,000 a year as a barber, you're gonna have to make $2,000 a week working 50 weeks a year. That's with taking 2 weeks off. So let's just go ahead and do this math for you. If you charge 30 or 40 bucks coming out of barber school, which is a market rate these days, let's see how many haircuts it's going to take you in a week to make that $100,000. So 100K, let's say you worked 50 weeks in the year, you took 2 weeks off for vacation and for holidays. That means you're gonna have to make 2K a week. And let's see how many haircuts that's gonna be at charging 30 bucks. So let's say you charge 30 bucks a haircut, and excuse my bad handwriting, but let's say you charge 30 bucks a haircut. Let's say your average ticket price, because of add-ons like designs or beard work or even just tips, let's say your average ticket price was 40 bucks a cut, average ticket price is 40. Then we're gonna go ahead and do 2,000, that's $2,000 a week divided by your $40 in average ticket per haircut, and let's see how many haircuts we're gonna have to do a week to reach that six-figure mark as a barber. So if you're a barber and you wanna make six figures these days and you're charging 30 to 40 bucks a cut, all you're gonna need is 50 heads a week. If you're working 5 to 6 days a week, that means you're cutting anywhere from 8 to 10 people a day, which is very doable and it's very sustainable. You don't even have to burn yourself out. You only have to be in the shop a few hours to get that done if you're being efficient, and you can scale from there. Like six figures doesn't have to be the end goal for you. If you want to go make $200,000 in a year, you can. I know barbers making $250,000 to almost $300,000 a year just behind the chair without any of their other assets. I don't know any other career that you can go into and do this without any crazy education. I mean, barber school isn't too hard. I just want to let y'all guys know that there's great money in this industry if you're willing to go work for it. But that's all I have to share with y'all guys today. If y'all guys have any questions or comments, y'all make sure to leave them down below. I know this is a little bit different of a video for y'all guys today, but I hope y'all found something insightful in here. If you're watching the video to this point, I feel like you did. You have the right intentions going to the industry. If y'all want to see some more videos like this, y'all make sure to let me know. And if you haven't already, go subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch y'all guys in the next one.